Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna Lane.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. My name is Matt.
And I'm Jenna.
And today we have a guest on. I got to refrain from calling your last name Becker, but it's Keiana Davis, which happens to be the beautiful wife of Mr. Richard Becker. He was on episode 20. We love you, good sir. We wanted to have her on here and talk about her and her art specifically and why it is that she loves what she loves. So first of all, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving us a chance and wanting to be on here. Guys, if you are tuning into this for the first time, do us a favor. Leave us a review on iTunes, and more importantly, will you subscribe to this show if you like it? Now, if you don't like it, I get it. We don't want you here if you don't like it. But if you are listening to this, you can also watch it on the BTYE podcast on YouTube, so check her out. Jenna, tell me how you're feeling.
Good. I think this is going to be a good episode.
I agree. I agree. I fully agree. Yeah. Gratitude point? Is that what you're pointing at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's too far away for me to push.
Okay. So at the top of every show, we hit you with our
Gratitude points.
This gratitude point is something that is small, something that is large, whatever is important to you. If it can shift your perspective to get you out of that funk or out of that mentality of something is bad or, oh, the world is, or the sky is falling, that perspective shift has been done. That thing has been done. So Jenna, I'll have you go first.
All right. Well, the last couple days in our house have been quite eventful. We have termed the last couple days as poopocalypse. Our dogs.
We're gonna go there. Okay.
Have eaten something, gotten into something, and it's been terrible. And I just want to say thank you, Matt. I'm grateful for you. The other night he got home before I did. He let the dogs out. He just went right in the dog's room and started cleaning up and didn't complain too much. But,
too much.
You know, it was just one of those things where it wasn't like I got home and he's like, somebody needs to clean that up. It was...
Oh, we would fight.
You would fight?
Yes.
And I just want to say I'm grateful for that because it was a total disaster.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, Matt was walking around in the dog room with plastic bags on his feet.
It was bad. You're putting a lot of visuals out there for them. I appreciate that, Jenna.
And I ended up just folding up our entryway rug and just throwing it out.
It was
altogether.
really gross.
Oh, it was worth just
It was
giving up.
Yeah, that rug, that's gone.
Yeah. Yep. It's gone forever.
Yep.
So I just want to say thank you, Matt, for sticking in there, being a champ, and cleaning that up.
Coincidentally, my gratitude point is actually about you. I remember this specifically, and you do this on a day-to-day basis still, but when we were dating, I woke up super late for school, for work, one of those. No, it's probably school. And I was in an absolute rush, and as soon as you woke up, your immediate question was, what can I do to help you? And that question has, like, immediately I stopped the rush and was just like, that was one of the sweetest things possible. Just so thoughtful of you. And you do that on a daily basis. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
I know, right?
Y'all
It was
adorable.
so thoughtful of her.
Now you're gonna make me feel like crap because I'm like, well,
No.
my attitude is not Richard.
No.
I mean, I love him, but like now if I'm not like, I'm also grateful.
No, it's your gratitude point, not ours. And pull that mic to you so people don't scream at us.
Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, cool. So it's my turn now.
It's
It
yours.
is.
Yay. I did think about this.
Did you know?
Yeah. And then I forgot. I'm just kidding. But no, I think my gratitude point comes from like people who really like embrace who they are, that they're like totally cool with being different and they like just really love themselves. I'm grateful for people that love themselves, like truly, because you can tell those people that are like, I don't care. Like I want to do whatever I feel like doing. I look up to people like that.
Do you feel that's you?
I want it. I don't. yes and no. Like a part of me, I know in my mind that I am that way, but like I'm still getting to the point where I've accepted about myself. Like I feel like I love myself. Like if this is like love myself, I don't think anybody can really get there, you know, because
That
we
high
have
up.
our insecurities.
Sure.
Right? But if like the people that I admire, like here, I'm like right here.
Okay. That's pretty high up, though.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
I don't think it's bad.
Because I mean, I'll be honest with you. That is one thing that I respect about both you and Rich. And I love you, Rich, but more so on you, Keiana, because that is something that I've always felt like you've embodied. And when I saw your art for the first time, I was like, mic drop, what the hell just happened? There's obvious passion in it.
Yeah.
And I will say this. You're not on this podcast because you're his wife. You're not on this podcast just because you are fantastic at art. You're on this podcast because you love art, and it's so obvious.
Oh, thank you.
And if you're new to this podcast, you, the listener or viewer, that's the whole point. Implementing behavior change for your long-term wellness and happiness. We talk about that happiness piece on this podcast, and you know, diving into the actual show and the concept of you and your art. And it's painting. Is it only painting?
So,
Because that's what we know.
yeah. See, that kind of, it plays back to like how I think that I'm here.
Okay.
I think what causes me to be here and like really not hit that like acceptance factor, like even really just hearing you say that just then, that's like, I am cool. You know?
Okay. Okay.
Like I have to have that
Validation?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I'm working on.
Sure.
Not needing it.
Sure.
And like being able to have those similar, like the same way that you can be like, yeah, like having those for myself.
Okay.
I have them sometimes. I toot the horn
But
sometimes. I need it more because it makes me, like I know how I feel when I feel that way about myself.
Okay.
It's different from then when I hear it from somebody else, so I want to get there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, like, does your art play any role in that at all?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
talented. No, I'm talented.
Say it. Say it.
Yeah.
You
No,
are
yeah,
talented.
Don't
Yeah.
hesitate when you say that.
That's the acceptance part. Like I know I need to say it, and I'm. You know,
So full blown say it right now. Say it.
I'm hella talented.
There you go.
Yes.
That's what I mean. You're talented and skilled. Talent you're born with naturally. Skill you've developed.
Yeah.
And you have both.
Thank you.
Like, when did you start in art?
Oh man, that's a question for my mom or my dad. Like from when I remember it. If I like really go in, you know, like you got pictures in your mind. Like if I really go through the memory bank, I remember a napkin that I drew on.
Really?
When I was like, oh, if I had to guess, I was probably like 3.
Really?
Yeah, I can go pretty far back if
Wow.
I try. Yeah. It's a napkin, had little, I think it was flowers.
Okay.
I can still picture it. And I was in the car and I drew on it while we were in the restaurant with like, you know, they give you all your little crayons and stuff. And we got in the car and I remember my dad seeing it. And he was like, oh, this is really nice. It's really, really nice. I'm like, yeah, you 3-year-old me, thank
Right.
you. And that's as far back as I can remember.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it seemed like there was a turning point for both you and Rich, where y'all were like really trying to focus on you doing your art. It was no longer like a side kind of thing, and like what is that? What did that look like then and now?
Richie's like, it's kind of like, oh, I feel like I can't say anything about my husband, but this is my opportunity. Richie's great.
Yeah, he is.
Like, you know, Richie's awesome. Richie's somebody, and Richie's kind of like the reason why I'm like learning to really love myself more, because Richie does not play. He's like, you are talented. He's like, you don't like, I got our house. I got all of it. Go paint. It almost makes me cry thinking he's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
that makes
awesome.
all the difference to have somebody in your corner supporting you and pushing you and allowing you to be you.
Because Richie saw, and you know, everybody's different. Richie can be on Navy Fed. He can work it. You
Right.
know, does great. He's learning to love more parts of it. He's
Sure.
fine, likes it. And me though,
Not
it-
you.
I like, really towards like the end of like when it really started to hit me, I feel like my heart was breaking a little bit because I
Now, for context for people that don't know, you're talking about when you were working like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think working at Navy Fed, I was on the phones.
Right.
Yeah.
But you said towards the end of it, like you felt like your heart was breaking.
Yeah, just I was going to school. I switched my major. Like I started off at art, right?
You started out in art. Okay.
Started out in art, and I went through that phase where I need to do something where I make money.
Stability.
Like, it has to be better. Yeah. And my dad used to always just kind of jokingly be like, oh, you could be the first doctor in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that would play in my mind a lot. So I was like, oh, I'll be a nurse. Hate hospitals. You know, I had a home birth.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like hospitals at all. But when I was in college, I switched my major to nursing.
I did not realize that.
Yep.
Okay.
And I started to do school, so I was doing school for that. One day it might be. I'm not gonna say it's not completely because I don't want to speak that.
Sure.
But at the time, college was not in my soul, and I was doing it.
Okay.
So I'm over here doing something daily that I do not like. Having to go home, do this homework, also be in a relationship. That's when me and Richie were like at a year.
Okay.
We had moved in together. So, there's a lot in figuring out a new person. I also live with my best friend and her boyfriend at the time. So I'm doing Navy Fed.
Okay.
Don't like it. Going to school. Don't like it. I'm being late because I'm not sleeping because I'm doing schoolwork. And I was just doing so many things that were making me like so unhappy. And Richie noticed. He was like, yo, you're unhappy. Quit.
Okay.
And I was like, really?
Wow.
Because it's crazy. Like sometimes all you need is permission.
Yep.
Like really?
Yeah.
I can quit. And it's not a big deal. So this is more like me and Richie. I think at this point we had like when it started, we were living with our friends. And then when it started to like end, when it was like I was like crying more.
Yeah.
And really feeling it. Like it starts somewhere, but it builds. When that happened, we had moved into the house already.
Okay.
So it's just me and Richie. If I quit, Navy Fed's the reason why we financially were able to get the house.
Okay.
If I quit, do we still make the money? Like,
right.
It didn't seem like an option for me to not work there. So that was like, now I feel like I don't even have options. I definitely can't quit. But then when Richie's like, no, quit. I'm like, what?
Wow.
What? Like, really? Like, you would really, like, you trust my talent so much that you are willing to, like, work so that our 2-income house, the house that we got in 2-income, they could just be one? And, like, you just gonna do it? And all I gotta do is go do something that I enjoy? Heck yeah. I love him.
That's love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So you started, and not to throw shade at your parents, but to understand like sort of the backstory. You started out unintentionally, it sounds like unintentionally being suppressed by some family, yeah, that's cute.
I love that you can pick up on that. Like you could hear it in my tone.
1,000%.
Yeah,
I mean,
1,000%.
and especially, I'm sure you were younger. I mean, teenage years probably, maybe younger than that, which are obviously extremely impressionable times. So you've had to now break through that. But thanks to Richie and probably many more people, but especially to Rich, you have that ability to break through and to quote unquote dream like a kid.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful.
Yeah, it's so different coming from Richard because it's like I can affect his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's different when people, like my best friend is everything. Jay's been telling me for the longest, like, Keiana, you're talented. Like go do it. Like,
Yeah.
And I obviously didn't listen.
Right.
And then because it's just different. Like if I fail at it, it doesn't affect your life at all.
Sure.
But for someone else to have it's like I'm willing to let you go into something where you could really mess up. Like we could be, and then y'all know I got a 6-month-old.
Yeah. You're a new mom.
I am a new mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if you don't do it, you could really mess up his life, and he loves you this much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's faith in somebody's talent. So to be able to experience that kind of like faith and trust in Richie just it shows me more that I should have it for like, see, look at what he's willing to go through for you. And you don't even think of yourself that high.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's crazy. That's why I'm trying to get.
Well, you know, I think that some people may say, like, as you were saying that, it ran through my head, well, I wonder if it's just, no, he just loves you so much to be able to let you do what you want to do. But I think you hit on it. You said faith in you, in your art, that it will do something for you. And I think you're 100% right. I think it's based off faith because Richie is a smart man.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd just be like, yeah, it's fine. Just go ahead and do it, girl. We'll be fine. So
no, that's me. Like I'm that one. But
Yeah.
I've always told me like when they're working at Navy Fed, I was like, no, I can't think like that about Navy Fed. I can't just be like, oh, it'll work. It's fine. It's great. Because it affects him.
Sure.
I don't get to be selfish in that way. We have a family.
Right.
So it's cool that Richie has that kind of faith in me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's an investment in both of your happiness too.
And you know, Richie believes in investments and he
Absolutely.
looks into all, like Richie knows all the technicals of investments and stuff too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. I know how he's thinking. And he's told me before, like I do invest in you. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah, because that has long-term repercussions too. You know, if you had to continue in a career, in a job where your heart wasn't in it. I mean, that has long-term effects psychologically, not just on you, but on him too, and on your baby. And, you know, it's just that ripple effect.
Yeah, that negative effect just spreads.
Yep.
And I'll say this, not to you, because y'all are already doing it. I think you understand it. But to anyone that's listening that's struggling with, man, I'm working a 9-to-5 job and I can't pursue my passion because I can't pay the bills. I mean, that's an age-old story. I get it. And I understand that it's difficult. But my fear for you, the listener, for anybody that connects with this, is that whoever it is that might have told you you shouldn't do it, you can't do it, you should not do it. If it's one thing to get over that hurdle, but if you don't go do that, you will resent that person for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. When you're 80 years old, you will hate that person. So I think it's truly on you to make your heart not black by chasing the colors that you want.
Yeah. Well, and true, you know, almost everybody, the majority of all the people work full time, but you know, what do you do in the hours that aren't 9 to 5? That's a lot of extra time that you can use to build up what you want to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know how motivating it is to be working, like, say you are working a 9 to 5, or, you know, you do what you're doing to make your money, but then you have that side hustle or the thing that is your art, or what for us, it's Matt Lane Fitness, to work in those dark hours, to be in the dark when no one sees you. And then whenever you have your come up or your blow up or whatever, people think you're an overnight success, but you've been working on this for years, and you're so much better. You're so much better for it, for having to go through it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, when you see all the people and you're like, oh man, they're so, like, this is like when I see Holden's videos,
right?
I'm like, yo, Holden, like I've told him before, I'm like, yo, my dude, you could be a director. Like, this is nice.
Yeah.
If it just, because I know sometimes I don't realize how nice my stuff is.
Exactly.
But like when I talk to him, I'm like, just in case you don't realize how nice, how good you are. Like you could be more than a director. I don't even know. Like all that is crazy.
Yes, 100% right.
But it's like people have to realize like he is this good because he's gone through all of these years.
Yes.
Yep.
And he's gone through, I don't know how long is he?
I think he's a little over 3 years now. So for you, the listener, you, the viewer, we all have a mutual friend named Holden Hardman. He's a good friend of mine. We've done many, many videos together. He's been on this podcast. He's been on my YouTube channel, but he has since sort of exploded. As of today, I think he's around 25 or 26,000. 26,000 subscribers today, and he's just done so well. But for a majority of the 3 years that he's been doing YouTube, he was in the dark. He made
I think it's been longer than that.
I think it has.
He's had other channels, but this channel that he's working on,
but years of work, and you know he's a little over 400 videos in, and you know, and it hasn't been that long ago that he was sort of quote unquote blowing up, you know, being found. And a lot of people are like, it's an overnight thing. It's not. No. He has so many videos that people have never seen, nobody commented on, nobody cared about.
Crazy. People are gonna go back and start looking, and he's
there you
got them views.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just a testament to he's pursuing what makes him happy.
Yes,
And I
it's
think Holden
nothing.
would say, like, even if nobody watched his videos, he enjoys doing
He
that.
would still make them.
Exactly.
Me, it's funny. Me and Richie have talked about that a lot. We talk about you, Holden. But like the best of me and Richie talk about that a lot. Like that's just crazy.
And is that how you feel about your art? Like, like
Yeah.
even if no one's watching?
Yeah. And it's like I want to get to that point, kind of a similar point where I think Holden is, where it's just like I like it. Like it makes me feel joy. So I'm gonna do it. When I tell y'all I think it's crazy that we were gonna do it for Christmas. But when we didn't do the podcast for Christmas,
Yeah.
I was like, I think there's more I gotta learn before like I'm on this podcast with y'all. And like since I've been going through some stuff, y'all. Like
Okay.
in my head, I'm really trying to figure out what it is that I like. Cause I know I love my art, but I know I don't always do it for myself, and that can make me dislike it.
Explain.
So I hate doing portraits,
Okay.
but I'm dope at it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like because of the faith Richie's put in me, and like because of everything Richie's done for me, and like the way that I want to do stuff for myself, and just knowing that like we need that financial part, because it's important. You got to have it. You got to have something in order to produce.
Yeah.
It makes sense, especially in order to do it the way you want to, really,
Yeah.
Sure.
And because of that, and because of the fact I'm good at portraits, I've always been like, all right, let me do this portrait, knock out, get this money so that I can just be able to get to a point where I can do what I love, and portraits are just so hard for me to do.
Is it that they're hard, or that you just truly don't enjoy it?
It's hard mentally.
Interesting.
Right? So for me, art, the reason why I love it so much is because I can get lost in it.
Okay.
Like that, like being able to just sit there and not think about anything. I'm just thinking about like the picture I have in my head and how I want it to come out, and then allowing it to change and alter the vision that's in my mind and then for it to be done and like be able to be like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted, and it also looks really good. Like to be able to have that experience, and then that final product, and then like want to do it again. Like for me, art starts from I can look at you right now and figure out how I can, like the colors that you have, like this maroon kind of color and this green in the background, the black, your skin tone. I can create an image of my mind of something that I can paint.
Wow.
And it'll start from there. And then it just comes down to when I sit down, which one of those pictures did I like the most? I got like 7 paintings in my head right now that I want to do.
Really?
Yes. Just from seeing little, like I see things in square. Like that's probably
Wow.
what
Not at all.
somebody else will understand.
Not
obviously.
at all.
But when I'm in certain environments, I'll look at a frame and I will my eyes, like mentally, I will draw a square.
Wow.
Or a circle, whatever seems cooler. And I can picture an image that I can put on that. And doing portraits takes that away from me.
It limits you.
Yes, because it's like I have to look at this, because I'm not finna give nobody nothing that I don't think is, because the bar of talent that I set for myself.
Okay.
So I'm not finna, if you say you want this picture, I'm gonna spend as much time as I need to spend on this.
Sure.
For my mental capacity, of course, to paint this exact picture.
Okay.
Y'all have seen some of the portraits that
Yeah.
I do. Flip, same picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's important to me when I paint, because I want people to know, like, this is what I can do with what I don't like to do.
Okay.
Imagine what I can do with what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to the point where I can do that all the time.
So how do you do that?
I work at Denny's. I need to make, I'm gonna chill out for a little bit.
But what does that mean? And please don't think that this is me by any means telling you what to do, but I'm asking, like, for what we're trying to do, like we know that it's very beneficial for us to build an audience around this.
Yeah.
And because I'm not in the art world, and let me clarify something. Is it only painting? Is it sketching? Is it?
Oh yeah, I anything that that I think will be cool. I did a pour at the house on
What?
a piece of furniture.
Oh, like you literally poured it?
Yeah.
The paint? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I made like a whole table. Like I had a table that I was using for my art. It was in my art room, and I was like, this should bring me more inspiration, so I'm going to paint on it.
Okay.
And I decided to do like a paint pour, but not the traditional way that you would. If anybody wants to, it's on YouTube. You look up a paint pour.
Okay.
You can see what I mean.
I think I have seen those.
With like acrylic paint and a pour made
Okay.
stuff. So I essentially made this pour on the table, and I just like I'll paint on furniture. Like
Yes.
I'll use regular paint, home paint. I'll sketch stuff. I like to do macrame. Like I like DIY stuff. I'll build something and paint.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So
I
that's
like
much
jewelry. I can do all.
That's
I
much
like
more
all-
dynamic than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it looks cool to me, I'm gonna try it, and I think I can do anything. I feel like it.
So let me ask you this, and because I don't know, what would that look like if you did take some of your art, the stuff that you love, and put it out in the world? Would you feel comfortable like making an Instagram or some sort of social media platform, and every time you finish something, you put it up? Or if you did a time lapse of you doing the art, like there's a guy specifically on YouTube, his name's Sketch Art, and I think I don't know where he's at, but he's incredible. He has all sorts of things, and basically he videos the process of him doing it. For me to be able to see that,
Yeah.
it means even more behind the art itself.
You know, it's crazy. I actually do that, but I don't do it for people. I do it for. Isn't that weird? I do it for myself. I have videos. Like sometimes I have like when I paint, I have thoughts in my head, right? And I actually do this thing where I just record I just talk while I'm painting, and I record myself while I'm talking, because I have so many thoughts in my head that I can get out when I'm painting, because I can really focus on what's in here, because I'm not thinking about anything else. Like I'm putting paint or sketch or oil or whatever to paper, and I know what my vision is. I just gotta make it come true. But it gives me a time to like process my thoughts. So sometimes I'll just record and I'll just talk out loud, and I'll just record whatever I'm thinking, so I can go back to it and be like, oh, that's where my head was when I was 23.
So you know what just popped in my head when you said that?
What?
Podcast.
I know.
That sounds like a podcast. And you could just go through your whole thing. And again, this is me not telling you what to do. This is me like being so happy for you that you have this.
Yeah.
And like the only thing I think you lack is putting it out there. And I question if it, first of all, is it what you want to do? Do you want to put it out there? Do you want it to be seen and known? Because like everything you've told me just seems like social media would be your route. Again, you have to want to do that.
Yeah. I think that's something that Richie gets on to me a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Cause I have,
Well, what is it? Well, let me interrupt you because I think it's important. Yeah, absolutely, Jenna.
what?
If somebody said, "Hey, I want to see like your art. Oh my God, I know how talented you are. Where can I go to see this?"
Yeah.
Like, would you feel comfortable putting that out
Oh,
on social media?
1000%.
Okay.
1000. And I think it's taken me, I've had to go through stuff in my own head about it, because I'm one of those, social media is the devil. I am too. I've been like that since I was in high school. You know, like when everybody had Twitter and da da da. You can ask any of my friends. My phrase, Twitter is the devil. Because all of my friends, and I would say it just like that, all of my friends would come to school, and there's this drama here, and you know what she said, and Twitter after dark.
Right.
You know, I disliked all of it.
But I
don't
want
like drama. So in my mind, like one of my core beliefs that I have, and I'm working on my belief system, but one of my core beliefs that I have is that social media is like bad. And I'm working through that. I would love, it's like social media is bad if you focus on all the bad stuff.
There you go.
But it's taken me a long time to realize, like, okay, there's a good side. You just got to put what you doing on the good side. And then whoever finds, because there's so many videos that I found on like YouTube and stuff like that I'm like, I'm so glad I found this video. Like, so like even I rode Shaw that one time. I was like, yo, like I woke up and I think it was before Christmas, because I was hosting Christmas I was hosting my Christmas at my house, and I'm like, I'm so glad I woke up and something in my head was like, you don't even get out of bed, watch this video. Matt just send it through the group
Yeah.
message. You saw it, watch it. And I sat there and I watched that video my whole day, like going into
Wow.
Christmas so much better. And I told y'all,
Yeah.
I knew I needed to.
Well,
Um,
we appreciate that.
Yeah, but it's like I have to remind myself, like you could just be on the part of Facebook or social media that you enjoy, and that's good. That's good for other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like social media is a microphone. I think it screams who people are on the inside. You know, I mean, and of course there's corners of the internet or social media that's awful, but there's corners that are incredible. You know, there's corners that I've been fortunate enough to be in and connect with people. And just like you said, you know, like that one piece that we did, that podcast connected to you. And I questioned that for you. And so knowing that it is okay and you're comfortable with that, there might be a time in the future where I will continuously encourage you.
I know you will.
I will continuously encourage
You
it.
won't care at all. I've been trying mentally not to
It's a
curse, but you
scary
won't
thing,
care.
though.
No, it's
I
okay.
think.
You can cut. No.
Oh no, I'm doing it for myself.
Okay, good.
Good.
All right, good.
Good. Like, I feel like it would be kind of intimidating or scary. I don't know. You tell me, like, putting yourself out there for people that don't know you, who haven't seen your art before, who may not like it. Like, is that something that makes you kind of hesitate as far as, like, not just getting the good feedback? Because there's always somebody that's not going to like something.
I think because I've been going through my little mental growth over, you know, whatever span it's been. Like I had just to kind of, you know, tell you a little bit
Sure.
about the journey I've been creating for myself. I had a little time frame where I chose not to listen to music. So like nothing with lyrics in it. Just so that I can, because, you know, sometimes I had to stop and like, I told Richie about this. I had to stop and think like, I know so many song lyrics, so many. Like, you think about it, half of the time when you're in a state that could be more of a free-flowing state, you know, where you're just, you're not thinking about nothing else. I feel like, at least for me, and maybe it's for other people too, I feel like 80% of that time, I'm thinking of a freaking song.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going through lyrics, you know,
Okay.
and I had to recognize, like, I love it when I can free think when I'm doing my painting. So if I cut out this music and really try to make myself aware of the fact that you're singing a song in your head, stop, think, just play with your brain for a second, like really just take that time to do that. You know, we could get somewhere, you know, because I've gone through lots
like that.
of.
You're
Yeah.
very experimental with yourself, and I really respect
am.
that.
You're
Thank
very
you.
self-aware, too.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I really pride myself on that. So I appreciate like little things that I've been able to do, or like videos on YouTube that I've seen that make me even more aware and, you know, allow me to grow as I get older, because I want to continuously evolve. Like, I'm somebody that I'm like, I can't wait to be old. Like, can you imagine how much you've learned when you're older? And like, I keep forgetting how old I am. I'm 25. I'm almost 25. I'll be 25 February 23rd. Hey, Pisces.
Pisces.
You know, I'm about to be 25, and I feel like I'm hella aware. Like
You're aware.
yeah. I feel like I'm super conscious of myself. And
Sure.
like, can you imagine when I'm like 100? I'm making it to 100 something. Can you imagine when I'm like 105? Like my mind, like all the things I would have gone through, the amount of potential I have to grow.
Yeah.
Realizing that I want to live until I'm 100. I'm gonna do everything I can.
Yeah.
To live until I'm 100 plus. I want to go through. I want to experience so many things.
Well, I want to see it documented.
Of course,
like
Matt
circling
Lane.
back to the video. Yeah.
Well, tell me this. Do you believe that art is subjective?
100%.
Is art something that, you know, the viewer, the person, the listener, is it what they say? Because I've heard people say that it's not subjective.
Those people, I feel like, and then I'm going to my little hippie mode real quick. When I get all spacey, I feel like everything's subjective.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Because everybody's an individual. We all have our own thoughts. There's such thing as perception.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could perceive you an entire way. And working as a server, it's always something I've always wanted to do. And I'm glad I'm doing it because I get to have this experience where I'm seeing multiple people. And, like, you really realize, like, from my first day, you know, you create a story about everybody that you meet in your mind. And you know, just being able to meet all these new people, you know, I watched myself, you know, create opinions about all these people.
Right.
And now that I've been coming back, I'm like, oh, okay, I perceived that wrong. Like, okay, cool. You're a little, you know, this is different. Or like this environment, this situation, you know, whatever it is, like being able to go back and be like, I really created an entire image of how you are as a person.
Yeah.
Off of 10 minutes that I know. Like that's, and then I'm dead wrong, either in a good way or a bad way, you know, but it's all perception.
Sure.
It's everything. There's people that don't even see the same colors as you. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, how do we know that what we see is right and what they see is
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, it's all
your
opinions.
perception is your reality.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone doesn't realize that art is the exact same, they're missing a lot in life.
I wanted to bring that up because I don't think, you know, for a layman person that, you know, is not really into art, you know, I think that's an interesting concept that some people think it is an objective thing, meaning, you know, no, it is great at this standard. It's, I mean, it's completely subjective.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's what I like about, I think that's one of the, well, maybe not even say like, maybe I need to process that feeling. But when it comes to portraits, though, I feel like something that also, and this might be an insecurity, I don't know, we'll find out. But I feel like something that I do with portraits is I know it appeals to those people who are like, art is subjective, good is good and bad is bad, because I can do the thing where I do the replica, so I can appeal to those people. And then I also appeal to the people that are like, art is subjective, but your art is good, subjective or not subjective, like that, you made that painting look exactly like that picture, obviously you got some skills. So I can appeal to both people, so it can broaden the amount of people that would be willing to buy paintings from me, because they would even look at the things that I love because they can see the talent and what it is that I don't like. That kind of plays back to that.
Have you ever made a portrait voluntarily?
No, because I don't like them.
Do you think that you don't like him, or do you think that you don't like what's tied to it and knowing that you're having to do a portrait for someone?
That's what I mean by I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I thought you meant it was the portrait itself that you did not like physically doing the portrait. You don't like the idea behind it of somebody saying, all right, I want this and it has to be up to this code. Right. Okay. That makes more sense.
That's a big reason why art school was so hard for me.
Okay.
Like, it was almost easier to switch my major. Like, even though I didn't want to, it was almost easier to do it because I didn't enjoy it. I'm like, how are you going to tell me I get an A for this?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Then how are you going to tell me, like, oh, you need to go paint this? And then, even though it's not something that you wanted to do, I'm going to grade it anyways. Like, how are you going to grade me out something I didn't even enjoy doing?
That makes sense.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a chance to put my passion into it. If I did what I wanted to do,
Okay.
I bet you'd like it. And
That
if you
makes
don't,
sense.
I don't care, because I like it.
Yeah, it was
know?
limiting in itself.
Yeah.
Of trying to learn about art.
I
Yeah.
commend people that go through art school, or any schooling, actually, because it's like they're willing to get past that to do what it is that they want to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long story short, like, art absolutely brings you happiness.
Art that I want to do brings me happiness.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's the big differentiation. So tell me this, in your wildest fantasies, like what do you want your art to do? What do you want this art to do? No limits. The ceiling is blown away.
And you see, that's the thing. I don't really see my art doing anything for nobody. So and you're like, what? Let me explain. My art does something for me. And because my art lifts me, it gives me the opportunity to lift others. That's what I want my art to do, something for me, so that I can go out and be a service to people. I think I'm cool.
We do too.
Yeah, we agree.
Thank you. I think I'm a cool person, and I think because I admire people that can really show like how uniquely themselves and like not care. Like, even when y'all say that y'all think that about me, that makes me so happy, because it's like, all right, it's working. Like, that's all I want. Like,
Right.
I want to be able to, cliche, I want to make people happy, but like, I want to rub my energy off on people that makes them feel like it's cool to be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's genuinely fine. Like, whoever don't have a problem, like that has a problem with it, then people aren't for you. And that's also okay. It's
Yes.
taken me a long time to realize I was really hurt after high school because a lot of the people that weren't for me, I tried to make everybody my friend in high school because I'm like, I'm cool. Everybody should like me.
Okay.
I wanted that. I was like, I think I'm a cool person. Like, be my friend. Like, I think you would have a really good time being my friend because I'm really cool. And like, I thought that way. And so I tried to be friends with everybody. And there's some people that were genuinely my friends. They really were. They liked me for all my bubbly, goofy weirdness. My best friend, she loves me as a person. We click. Like, we joke a lot in my phone. She's called the one and only Jay. And like, she's called the one and only, actually. And in my phone, I'm her soulmate. Like, we tell each other all the time, like, you're my soulmate. Jay is for me. I'm for her. And to be able to see that with her, and then to go through what I did in high school with like a lot of people, like senior year, like I've been friends with you since I was a freshman. And like for them to like be like, we don't like you. And then like be really mean to me. I was like heartbroken out of high school. But I've realized, as I've gotten older, like they just weren't for me. They're for other people, and that's cool.
Yeah.
They don't mean no harm by you. You forced them to like you. They didn't ask to be your friend. You asked to be theirs.
That's a huge realization.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, it seems like a pattern too. And again, not to throw shade at anybody in your life, but because my dad did the same thing to me when I was younger. I was sort of talked out of doing art myself.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from a place of love from most people, for most parents, that, they want you to get something stable. They want you to get something that is, going to set their, I want my child to be okay kind of thing. All the while it's really, suppressing what happiness is what that child is after. So when you have to weed through that, and especially up until high school, and if you had that, like, it makes sense that you are still sort of working through things right now to be able to even do your own art and to push your art.
Yeah. And I feel like, with me working on myself, like once I get to a point where I like really, like it's taken me a long time to like say out loud, like I don't like doing portraits.
For people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, it doesn't bring me anything. It doesn't bring me the happiness.
Sure.
And if I want to get from this something that lifts my spirits, because my ultimate goal is to lift other people's spirits. If I'm doing something that's bringing me down, it defeats the whole purpose of my artwork. This is my work. This is what I got to do so that I can help other people. This is what I'm supposed to do. So if it's like it's making me, I should be doing it.
Yeah.
And
You
like,
can't lift other people up unless you're doing something that makes you happy.
And it's such
I
a
like
basic thing that you hear all the time, but it's like one of those things you got to be able to go through it to realize how many of these sayings are true. Like I want to go through one day and just like research a lot of sayings and start writing down, because I'm like, these are clearly lessons that I need to learn, because sayings are true for a reason. Like they're sayings for a reason.
Well, here's a saying. What is your definition of happiness? I feel like this is also subjective and individualistic to each person. What is your definition of happiness?
Being at a point in my life where I'm unapologetic.
I like that.
Being at a point in your life where you're unapologetic.
Yeah. I feel like once I get there, like once I really don't care about nobody's opinion, like I feel like that's when I'm going to hit the peak of who I am as a person. And I get to live my happy life with full permission from myself and just do it. I feel like I'm getting there now. Like I really, that's something I admire about you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. I feel like I love how you can, like, you're one of the people that when I think about, like, being more like people who like are cool with being themselves.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about you, because like you don't care if something you say offends somebody, because you're like, if you're offended by it, then clearly you don't know me, Because if we're here and we're like, all right, time to go. Y'all need to get out the house. I'm tired. I got stuff to do in the morning. I love that. Other people would sit there and we've talked about it, sit there and be miserable in their own house.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Absolutely. And you should
you
be.
do too. And like a lot of people also, they have that feeling like I refuse, but then they let it happen.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Heck no, not anymore. I don't care.
I 1000% agree with you that you will be, and I think that it's always an evolution of, when you're intentionally trying to become a better person or a better version of yourself or whatever you want to say. But being unapologetic, I think you're 1000% right that you would absolutely be at quote unquote your peak.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah. 'Cause
Totally
it's like
agree.
you stop allowing other people's like opinions, and like even while we've been here, like having to check in with myself and like, no, be authentic. Don't worry about that camera.
Right.
Like be you. The rest will. Yeah. I've hit
Be
this
authentic.
I know people have seen it. I've been trying to get through it. I've bumped into this mic like 10 times, and I've been like,
That was perfect.
Don't make a big deal out of it. Just keep watching. Doesn't matter that people are watching. That people are gonna see it. It's cool. Just keep. You have a thought. You have something you need to get out. Get it
Absolutely.
out. Even though I've been knocking the mess out. Oh my goodness! I forgot what I was saying.
No, we were talking about being unapologetic and just how that's like when you. I agree with you. I think that's like when you fully start to flourish.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, and I like what you said about giving yourself permission.
Yeah.
You're not looking for permission from anyone else but yourself. I like that. That gives you so much freedom.
Yeah.
Too.
I had to, something that's helping me with it, if it helps anybody else. Something I had to do is I had to go back and figure out like my neighbor, Lauren's amazing. I'm so glad she's my neighbor, and I prayed for her,
Shout out to you, Lauren.
Yes. Hey, Lauren. She probably won't watch this because she's not even on, like, she don't even get on Facebook.
Okay.
Like, I like that. She's also one of the people that are very much herself that I admire. And Lauren was talking to me one day, and I started thinking about how cool Lauren was, and I completely forgot my thought, y'all. What did you say to me?
And a side note, this is typically Matt's ADD moment, but it's Keiana's ADD moment.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's okay.
I have them sometimes.
It's okay.
Dang it. I might find it again.
I hope so. If not, it's all good. You were talking about Lauren. You were talking about how much you love her, and she's not on social media, and you just respect who she is, and she's so awesome. No dice? No. It might spring back. Whenever, I think Archimedes, whenever you don't think of it, you'll think of it.
Yeah.
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 Is that who it is?
I don't want to talk about it. I heard it in a movie one time. I'm pretty sure it's Archimedes.
Matt makes up his own facts daily.
So this is like, these are the moments that I'm so happy to capture. We've been talking for 47 minutes and 35 seconds.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
It's nuts, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, it feels like we've been here 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like these free-flowing conversations. Yep. And my problem is that I get so into conversations, I feel like I've just been back and forth and like watching you guys and listening the whole time.
And I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, so tell me about this. And wait, let me interrupt you. So,
no, I mean, it's good that you're like that, because I can get obviously I can get lost in my thoughts. But that's why I like just how this is able to be like a flowing thing.
Yeah.
That's what I like this experience. That's how I feel with my art. That's why I'm able to like be in my head, because you're just saying what's in your head. Like, you're just saying it out loud. Like, and people are like, weird people talk to themselves. Like, y'all crazy. I talk to myself all the time.
100%.
And I record it just so I could go back and listen to it later.
Yeah. Well, I think hearing yourself is a totally different experience than your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you hear them out loud, they become real.
Yeah. Do y'all journal at all? You do?
I do.
That does.
I do. A lot.
I journal and it's called my blue book. Since I was younger, I've always had a blue notebook that I've wrote in. My first diary was blue, and then after that I was like, this little small thing is not enough space. Like, I have so many more thoughts. So I would always get blue composition notebooks, and I just go. Even now I have a journal, and something that I realized that I like about like recording my voice is I actually I sit down and I listen to it. Or like when I record videos of myself when I paint, I go back and I listen to them. Even when I was pregnant, like, I made videos of myself just so I can go back. I want the memory.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like a video diary.
Yeah. And I really like that. And something I realized that I wasn't doing with my actual journals was going back and reading them. So recently I've been going back and I've been reading my journals, and I'm like, yo, it's like, this is what I want to do. This is why I made them. Like, so I go back and I'll look at thoughts that I've had, and a lot of the things that I think about, like wanting to be myself and like figuring out like what I like and don't like so I can start taking action in that in my life. Like all the little self-help notes that I've wrote for myself. I forgot about, I've had them so many times.
Yeah.
And I forgot. I just didn't stay on track.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this time, like for real this time, we are staying on track because I like how I feel.
Yeah.
Like even with working at Denny's, I always wanted to be a server. I've always told Richard, I was like, I think I'll be a really good bartender. And I think I'll be a really good server.
Interesting.
I think I'm going to be a dang good server. Like, cause I'm cool. Like all the servers, like people that I've known that I've always like tip.
Yeah.
They're people that are like, they just act like themselves. And like, it's actually an experience. Like, you know, everybody doesn't always have good days. It's whatever.
Sure.
But when someone's like a good soul, you can tell when they're just having a bad day, and they're easy to bring back up because to their core, they're good soul. They want to be happy. They don't want to be sad. So it's easy to snap people out when they want to be happy.
Yeah.
And I've always loved that about service any way that we go at a restaurant.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, I've always enjoyed those experiences. I want to be able to give somebody those experiences because I'm cool.
I like that.
I do too.
Yeah. So I said I always wanted to do it. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to work again, because I feel like I need to work so that I can make some more money and I can actually do things that I want instead of having to do portraits because they're things that people will pay for to get the kind of money that I want.
Okay.
You know, to be able to do what I want.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do something else that I want.
Okay.
That's going to make me money that I said I've always wanted to do.
Respect.
And I'm going to do that so that I'm happy, so that when I get to the point where I'm making the art all the time that I want to make, that I just continue that state of happiness. I don't have to go back into it like, oh, I need to make this and do these commissions for these people. Like, I want to find my style.
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to do that because I've always painted for other people.
Okay.
I know what I like to do when I have fun, but I've always been like, okay, this goes back to like the thing about my dad.
Yeah.
It goes back to like, okay, well, I can't make any money being an artist because my dad told me that's not a real profession.
How you started out just explaining this, your eyes went to the ceiling and you exhaled starting it. That's how exhausted of it you are.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I'm like, my dad's always told me that. So, you know, if you are going to paint, you got to paint the paintings that other people want because that's what's going to make you money. If you want to go into this kind of field, and I'm so past that. Like, even if nobody buys my art, I'll do something. I'll find a different thing that I like, but I like my art and I'm not going to taint that for nobody. I'm past that.
I think it's unbelievably important that you don't sell another portrait.
No.
I think it's like it's so uber important that you do focus on what it is, abstract, whatever the hell it is. Side note, I am willing to pay you. We have a coffee table in there. I don't know if you're down, Jenna. I'm just sort of throwing it out there, but we have a coffee table in there that, I mean,
You don't like the way I painted it?
you know damn well she's going to paint it better than us. That would be, I was sitting here running in my head. I was like, we should give her that coffee table and just let her go hog wild with it. I'm serious.
Over here like, oh, but I thought I did.
I'm serious. I'm being dead serious right now. If you're cool with it, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's
Jenna liked the way she painted that table, Matt. You leave Jenna's painted table alone.
It was my
she's been
attempt at salvaging it because I wanted to throw it away, and Matt said we paid too much money for it. So I was like, well, chalk paint's really cool right now. So I painted it, and it looked a lot better for a while, but I didn't finish it right. So we never use coasters. So the top's kind of messed up.
I'm being dead serious right now. If you want to do it, I will pay you to do it. Do whatever you wish.
Ooh.
I'm serious.
I love when people say that.
Do it.
One of the first like big pieces that I got to do after Richie let me quit. Now I'm gonna say lit, cause you know,
right
after Richie let me quit Navy Fed. There's a girl named Sharonda. She wanted me to do like she was like, I want it to be like a Hamza hand, like a
what?
Like a Hamza. It's like HAMSA. Hamza.
A
Like the little
okay.
Buddhist palm looking thing.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
She's like, I want that to be in it, and I want it to be like a black woman. I want it to be like goddess-esque, you know. And these are my colors.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, limiting.
Nah.
No?
It was cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you
'cause
like that?
She said, I was like, well, do you want anything else more specific? Like, do you have a picture in mind? Because usually that's what people do when they want something. They're like, they give you all these guidelines because they have their own vision.
Sure.
And now I got to try to execute your vision because you're paying me.
Of course.
Instead of my own vision. But Sharonda was like, do whatever you want. She was like, these are the elements that I want.
Okay.
Go crazy.
Okay.
All the things that started flying in my head. I got in my sketchbook. I was like, and my sketches are crazy looking. Like, you see my sketch and then you see what I did, and it's like, I knew it was going to turn out like that.
Okay.
But the difference is so funny. But I'm over here, sketching everything out. And then as I'm making it, I'm like, I don't know. That's not really what I had in my head. I go through my flow state of painting. And when it got done, even while I was doing it, I loved doing it. And when it was done, I loved the way it came out because it was the vision in my head.
There you go.
And it was also really nice.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, it doesn't have to be picture perfect. Let's get away from I think that's one of the first moments that I had where I was like, okay, what you do, what you like is also really good.
Yeah.
So if you can do this, you keep perfecting these skills here.
Yeah.
That means you could do something else. Like,
Well, I'm down if you are, and if you do it, want to do it, I'm gonna put it on social media. So
you said doo-doo.
I did say doo-doo. So doo-doo the wrap up. Doo-doo the wrap up.
Yeah, you do.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
The wrap up.
Poopocalypse.
Oh my gosh, that how
Bring it
pertinent.
back.
Yeah, bringing it back to the beginning of the podcast.
Poopocalypse.
So Jenna, Jenna typically does a wrap up of the show. If you're new to this podcast, how do you wrap this up?
I think one of the recurring themes is just being true to yourself, doing what you love so that you can affect other people in your own way rather than just following the worn path that everyone else says is the right way. Yep. Everyone's different. And I love the fact that you're trying to better yourself and you're trying to look inside to make yourself better, and you're making yourself accountable. There wasn't one conversation where it was you're trying to change other people or you're looking to other people for permission. It's just all inside.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. It's like if someone else can give me, like, I'm important, so I should be able to give myself all of the permission.
Yes. Yes.
Plays back to that unapologetic.
Unapologetic. Yes.
Yep. I like that. I think that's what this should be titled.
Unapologetic. I'm good with that.
Unapologetic.
I'm good with
If
that.
any of us can say it correctly.
We're gonna spell it so we don't have to worry about saying it correctly.
Well, unless you have anything in closing, we'll wrap her up.
No, thank you.
Thank
for
you.
letting me come. I'm glad that we didn't do it the first time and that this is it.
Yeah.
Thank you for anybody who can recognize when moments happen that will set you up for better moments. Sometimes it's okay to miss stuff.
Yep.
Don't. It'll work out.
It'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
We tried to make this
that.
podcast happen a good almost 2 months ago now. So yeah.
And I'm grateful for the time that I've had with myself
Absolutely.
so that we could come here and do this.
Well, this was awesome.
Cool.
This flowed so well. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate you. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Do you want to see her art? Should she throw it out there?
Yes.
The
answer is yes.
I'm gonna do my absolute best to find some of your art, if you're okay with it, and put it in the description below, whether it be links or the actual piece in the description below of this podcast. Guys, thank you so much. We will talk to you next week. Be unapologetic.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.
Really good.
That was really good.
Cool beans. I was hoping so.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Cool.